All right, guys, tried to have a Google Meet and nobody showed up. So I'm going to just put out a little quick video. And then if you guys want to meet, you need to get with me and make sure we can try to set something up. But I'm going to just walk through just a couple of problems on this Chapter 6 review real quick. I'm going to go ahead and do number 2 because if you can do number 2, you can do number 1. The first thing we need to think about is how many actual sides that we have on this figure. So if you notice, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 actual sides, and you can also count your angles, right? Inside, I've got 5 angles inside. So how many ever sides you have, that's how many angles you have. And you remember we can find the sum of the interior angles of any polygon by using the n minus 2 times 180. So if I have 5 sides, it's going to be 5 minus 2 times 180, which is 3 times 180, which equals 540 degrees. And so what I need to do in order to set this problem up is I need to add up everything that's on the inside. And I'm not worried about this one right here. Go ahead and put it in a different color that's on the outside right now because I just figured out the sum of the interior angles, right? So I'm not even really worried or concerned about that right now. So what we're going to do is we're going to take all these angles that are inside the polygon, and we're going to add those up together, and they have to equal 540 degrees. So again, I'm just going to take 108 plus 125 plus 98 plus 98 plus 2x plus 11, and all of that has to equal 540. Now that looks like a big old jumbled up mess right now, but again, we can collect our like terms and do all the math here. Once you do all of this math, you're going to figure out that x equals 50, okay? Now, what I'm going to do next is I'm going to take this x equals 50, and I'm going to substitute it back into this equation right here to figure out what this angle right here is, okay? So if I take 2 times 50 plus 11, I'm going to get 111. So that means this angle right here is 111 degrees. Now, what I want you to also think about is I have a straight line right here. So let me get a different color. I've got a straight angle right there, and all straight angles equal 180 degrees. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to take 180 minus the 111, which is this part, and that is going to give me what I have left, which is going to be, let's see, 69, correct? 69. So that tells me that that's what this angle right here, the green one, let me go ahead and get my green again. This green angle right here has to equal 69 somehow, some way. So now that's going to be my second equation that I'm going to write is y plus 8 equals 69. And if I do that math, I'm going to get that y equals 61, okay? So it's a 2-part question, and you are going to have one like this on the test. So I'm going to go ahead and tell you now, go ahead and get ready. So 2 parts, x equals 50 and y equals 61. So again, you're kind of using a little bit of everything. Make sure that you have this formula right here wrote down somewhere because you're going to need that. And then you're just using math to help you figure out what x is. Substitute x back in. Use the rule that says that has to equal 180, a straight angle, and then figure the rest of that out, okay? These down through here, I want to make sure that you understand that you need to pay attention to your congruency marks. So again, this tells you that you're dealing with a parallelogram. Parallelograms, the opposite sides are equal. So that means this side and this side are equal. And that means that this side and this side are equal. So you very simply just set them equal to each other. For example, I would take 3x plus 15, and I would set it equal to 6x and solve for x. Same thing for y. I would set y plus 5 equal to 2y minus 10 and solve for y. And you're going to do that a lot all throughout this form. So notice this has a congruency mark, this has a congruency mark. That means these two things are equal to one another. You notice as well that this has a different set of congruency marks and this has a different set. So you're going to set these two things equal to one another. So if in doubt, what I guess my advice would be to you is set those things equal to each other, okay? You notice as well here, we have this angle marking here and we have this angle marking here. That means that those two things are equal to one another. So you just set them equal to each other. Same exact thing is true here, okay? You have this and this that are in the same positions, set them equal to each other, okay? So you can kind of see a common theme that's happening. Don't get freaked out by the fact that I've got two different variables. Here's x's and here's y's. Just remember that you need to really pay attention to those congruency marks, okay? Let's walk down to the second page real quick. Again, you've got to know your rules. So when you're talking about a parallelogram, we understand that the diagonals bisect one another. That means that this line is the same as this line. And conversely, this line is the same as this line. So again, you're going to set these two equal to one another. Let me show you just real quick what that looks like. 2x equals 4x minus 6. You're going to solve for x there. Okay? You're going to solve for x, which is going to give you x equals 3. And then you're going to take that and substitute it in over here. So then 3 times 3 equals y, right? So then y has to be equal to 9. So really quickly, you can get those two answers again, just by kind of understanding the rules. Same thing on number 3 here. You're going to need to look at all your sides, how many sides you have, and do the same thing that we did on number 2 on the first page, okay? Again, just make sure that you're paying attention to your markings. So you notice here, AC equals this, BD equals this. So if you look, these diagonals, they look the same. Well, that's exactly what you do. You just set these two things equal to one another. 7x minus 15 equals 4x plus 15. Solve that out, and it gives you the answer for x. One of the other things I want to point out here is when I'm dealing with these figures, if I look right here, I can kind of see that this creates right angles. I've got a rhombus, and so where the diagonals intersect, they're perpendicular. It makes 90-degree angles. So really quickly, I can kind of see that this one in particular, 3x, has to equal 90 somehow, some way. So that would be x equals 30. And that helps me to be able to figure out the rest of it. So it's kind of like a puzzle in that you figure out one piece and it helps you to figure out yet another piece, okay? So then you could use that information to help you think about just looking at this as a right triangle, okay? So a rhombus actually makes 4 right triangles. So I always kind of think about that as well, that you can break these down into other figures as well. All right, last couple of pages, again, is just kind of repetitive. It's the same motions. You're doing it over and over and over again. Again, here we're talking about a parallelogram. So we know that this has to be equal to this. All right, so set those things equal to one another. And yeah, just keep moving through each one. Again, looking at your congruency marks. I'm just kind of pointing out ones maybe that could help you. Look here, you've got a congruency mark. So that means those two have to be the same. So you would do 2x equals 70. And then because those two are the same, that means these two also have to be the same. So that means you would also do 2y equals 110. So more times than not, you're just setting things equal to one another, other than if you've got more than 4 sides. Obviously, you have to do a little more work, but these should be really similar. Obviously, the ones that have X's through them, you don't have to do those at all. And again, hopefully this video has been a little bit more helpful than just sending you the review. Again, I'll go through one more really quick. If you look here, you see that I've got a parallelogram. And so one of the rules about a parallelogram is that opposite angles are the same. You notice this is an obtuse angle, this is an obtuse angle. So that means those two, I would need to set them equal to each other. Another rule that you should understand is that consecutive angles are supplementary. So once you get this value for x, which should in fact be 33, I do believe. Let me look real quick. Yes, x is going to equal 33. Once you get that, then you know that this is a straight line, a straight angle right here. So that has to equal up to 180 degrees because they're supplementary. So again, to find y, I'm simply going to take 180 minus 33, and that will give me that answer. Which again, that's the value of x. So I skipped a little bit here. Let me back up. Mr. Hamilton made a mistake. I've got to substitute that 33 back in. So 33 times 2 would be 66. 66 plus 33 would be 99. So I actually need to subtract 99 from 180, and that then would give me the value of y, which is 81. Okay. So again, just take your time, work through these, and remember those rules. If you're having trouble, remember those rules, or you have a specific problem that you're having issues with, make sure to let me know. Okay. Thanks.